Board of County Commissioners now in session. We'll have prayer followed with the praise. Brother John Sink, you want to come say the prayer?
Thank you for your patience, and good morning, Commissioners. And let us go to the Lord in prayer then. Lord, we're grateful for another beautiful day here in Paradise, and we ask that you always keep us reminded of how responsible we are for being good stewards of this blessing that you have given us. Bless now our Board of County Commissioners as they undertake the agenda for today. Give them the vision, the wisdom, and give them the compassion to decide what is in the best interest of our residents and our visitors. Lord, for this is Paradise. All this we ask in your name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Approve of the minutes.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Payment of the bills.
So move.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. Miss Rhonda Skipper, property appraiser.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Thank y'all for giving me and our VA officer just a few moments of your time. I'm sorry. What? County officer.
Yeah, I work for the county.
Charles will introduce himself.
Charles Elliott, I'm your county service officer. Y'all see me poking around occasionally. I work for the county, not the VA.
Hi, I'm Rhonda. This project was started many, many years ago by our supervisor of elections at that time, Doris Gibbs and Ida Elliott. And what they did was they had advertised all over the county for people within our county that have family members or whatever that were service members. If they would bring photographs down, we would make Xerox, or they would make Xerox copies and put their information across the bottom of the photo and put them on the hall downstairs. Well, so far right now, all we have is just the photos with the laminated sheets, and they're falling off the wall, and we're trying to keep them up on the wall. And the thought is an awesome tribute, but the way they're displayed right now is rather tacky. So what we're asking is that maybe you guys will provide the funding for us to put some nice, and Charles will explain a little bit more about that, frames, long frames to put or boards to put these in, and we can purchase frames for each of these individual veterans for like $1 a piece and give them a much more deserving display here in our courthouse. And you'd be amazed at how many people do come in to look at the photos on the wall. And Charles has put together some numbers.
The quick numbers on the current right now we have on the opposite side from her office wall, there's approximately 131 photos up right now. To do that wall with picture frame molding and picture frames, be either 8 by 10 or 8.5 by 11, would run for that wall just under $400 for the framing and for the molding. Of course, we need it, took down, straight down, painted, and then probably use adhesive to put it up, and just, but real, for that one wall, the entire wall, what we currently have, under $400 of materials plus the labor. And one reason we want to address this is because we're going to have to take everything off of the wall, and we don't want people going, oh, where are the pictures? Because we have to take them down, frame them up, and get everything ready. Well, that's the request, if we have a little assistance on that.
I make a motion, Mr. Chairman, that we work, Madam Clerk, do you have any thought?
I think it's a good project.
Okay.
It might be much more accurate once I can get a hold of materials and actually get the full price. But right now it's
Okay, Charles.
$250 a picture.
I make a motion that we approve this and have Michael Marone work with Charles Elliott with this and make it a better tribute to our veterans.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Thank you,
Thank you all very
Commissioners.
much.
One last
Thank you.
comment. Anybody that has relatives or knows of anyone in our county that has served, if you would please have them get with us, get us a photo. We'll scan it for them. We're also going to put it all on a PDF file so that it'll be readily available.
All
Thank
right.
Thank you. We have the department heads, Mr. Howard Neighbors.
Good morning, Commissioners. How y'all doing?
Good morning.
I just got a couple items, on the grass cutting. I know certain areas has growed up pretty bad, so, but we getting to it. You know, we're making a path back through the county. And got one employee that's officially retired by the end of the month, Gary Myers, on health issues, so.
You gonna replace him?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
The first of July right there, we, run 2 weeks and a half. But I'm gonna run it by the board first to approve.
I make,
hire.
I make a motion to allow Howard to advertise for the
Second.
open position.
Have a motion and second on the floor. All in favor? Aye. All opposed? Motion carries.
And then everything else is good, so,
Y'all doing a good job.
thank you.
Y'all getting Gary a retirement party?
Yes, sir.
Let me know the date.
Okay, we will.
Let us know that. Keep up the good work.
Oh, yeah, Gary, he did good with them inmate crews now,
Yeah.
yeah.
Anybody got anything for Howard? Thank you, Howard.
Uh-huh.
Mr. Fonda Davis, Solid Waste.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
I just want to let you all know that we have 4 teams that will be moving, advancing to state, 2 softball and 2 baseball teams. So that's about all I have.
Good.
Anybody got anything for Fonda?
And you're coming along with a sign to go at the county line?
Yes, ma'am. Talked with the state, and I got to get a permit, so I'm talking with them on it.
Where the state gonna be at, Fonda?
For the girls, it's in Okeechobee, and the boys is in Sebring.
Okay.
Yeah.
In Chiefland?
Sebring.
Sebring.
Oh, Chipley.
Sebring.
Sebring.
Oh, okay, I didn't hear it.
That's down on the
Couldn't hear
west
it.
coast.
Right, that's correct.
Sebring, that's back down there, way down there.
Right on the west coast.
Yeah.
All right, thank you, Fonda.
Okay.
Tell them good luck on it. Bring us a trophy.
Ms. Pam?
Pat had to go to Tallahassee today, Commissioners, and the only item on her report at the last meeting, she failed to get an item approved, and she put it back on this report as an action item. She needed approval of the debris monitoring contract.
So moved. Second.
Have a motion and a second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
Everything else on her report is information items, and she should be back this afternoon from Tallahassee.
Mr. Derek Lovestrand?
I need this morning. Good morning, Commissioners.
On.
I just have one item in my written report that I wanted to give you a little further update on, and it relates to our 4-H youth program activities. I have to give kudos to Michelle, our new office manager program assistant, primarily due to her outreach efforts. We have 19 youth this summer that have shown interest in going to the 4-H summer camp, which is located over on Choctawhatchee Bay. It's a really great facility called Camp Tempucci, and kids have a full week of activities and programming over there for 4-H, things that are really good for them. And that's quite a few more kids than we've had for many years actually going to camp. Also, she's been reaching out to local businesses and has had some great support coming in. She has donations committed now for about $1,600 for assisting with scholarships for these kids and parents that are sending kids to camp this summer. So we're really appreciative of the local businesses and the support that they're providing to help these kids defray some of the cost for them to go to camp. It costs $225 per child to spend the week over there at the camp. And we've got a lot of families that's tough to do, so it's really nice to have that support. And that's all I have to kind of update you on from my report.
Anybody have anything for Eric? Thank you. Thank you, Eric.
Much.
Ms. Ann Birchwell, Franklin County Library.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Get ready, get set, read is this year's theme for our 2016 summer reading for the Franklin County Public Library. Both branches are decorated with a racing theme to entice even the youngest reader to come into the library for our programs beginning this week. This 5-week program has been made possible this year with some hugely generous donations. Our own County Commissioner, Rick Watson, And the nonprofit group Rock by the Sea, including members Patrick Kelly and Beth Gosnell, donated $5,000 to the Friends of the Library. This was done through benefit concerts with musical groups like Melodyne, who contributed for the continuation of library music as a second language, receiving a total donation of $10,000 to the Franklin County Public Library for both our music program and the summer reading program. Other organizations that helped this year was St. George Island Civic Club, the FLACO, and the Friends of the Library. We are most grateful for this donation. The Music as a Second Language program is continuing at both branches of the library. We're seeing the students slowly progress, and we'll be having a recital in August. So we're really excited about that, and thank Rock by the Sea. On Monday, June 20th, Les Harrison of the Wakulla Extension Agency will be facilitating a plant clinic at the East Point branch at 1:30. Participants will learn about native plants and diseases and watering issues that growers face. Patrons are encouraged to bring examples of their current gardening problems. In preparation for reporting library statistics, our staff reviewed the e-government usage at our libraries. On the following pages, you'll see statistics saved by the staff as they look to assist our patrons. They come in for food stamp applications, unemployment, Social Security, and SafeLink phones. Some people, their applications require more time. Many also need help with creating resumes and filling out applications that are only available online. Many patrons feel overwhelmed with filling out these applications, and the staff is happy to assist them. However, it can be difficult to assist these patrons as it takes great time in assisting them. And with the small staff that we have one full-time person and a part-time person at the Carabel branch. And at the East Point branch, we have 2 full-time people and myself. The chairman encouraged me to bring to your attention that in the budget, I did not request extra funding. I just don't have the wiggle room to hire another person to restore that part-time position at the Carabel branch. I asked Aaron Griffith to at least give the costs of what it would cost to restore the position at the Carabel branch. It puts a great amount of stress. These people work really hard to help people. As you can see in your report, how much it would cost. The total cost to make the part-time position into full-time would be $17,367.64. The Carabel branch report was submitted by Ms. Tanya Chisholm, and Ms. Carol Davis, a longtime Carabel resident and teacher, passed away unexpectedly Thursday, April 28th. Ms. Carol Davis was very well known, respected, and loved in our community. Her love of children and knowledge was evident in her life's dedication of educating our children and grandchildren who attended Chapman Elementary, Carabel High School, and Franklin County School during her 40-year career. Ms. Davis' family requested that in lieu of flowers, donations be made to the Carabel branch of Franklin County Public Library in the name of Elizabeth Carol Davis. A 6-foot outdoor bench with an inlay that reads, "In loving memory, Elizabeth Carol Davis," has been chosen to be purchased with these donations. It will be placed near the front entrance so that all who enter the library will be offered a seat of rest and reminded of our friend, Ms. Carol Davis. Thank you letters were sent out. That's the end of my report.
Carabel's always had 2 full-time employees up there for a while. I've been going in and out of there quite regular.
Yes, sir.
And they're having a difficult time trying to run that place with 1 employee.
I agree.
I've been in there and it's packed and just 1 person. It's just no way. We only have 1 lady, Miss Sharon Ryder.
She's
She
a
was
volunteer.
part-time or volunteer, and she took a job, so she's not there for just 2 or 3 hours a week now.
I agree.
Mr. Chairman, I had a question too.
Yes, sir.
I appreciate getting the statistics about the outreach. Do you have that same information for last year as well? I was curious about the trends. Is it more?
What happened was the e-government statistics are not very accurate. I did try to request them from the state, and it was showing that East Point only showed 1 person getting assistance and Carabel getting 84. We know for a fact that that's not true. She said they'd have to work on the software and things like that. So we're starting to keep track ourselves, and that's the best we can do. Yes,
So
sir.
these statistics you presented are the ones that you kept?
What the staff has been trying to keep track of, correct. And now, again, like a food stamp application typically may take 30 minutes, but that's one person, one staff person sitting down with the person and helping them through the application. And then there's another person trying to assist someone at the front desk or getting a book or doing a program. So it is really hard.
If I can make a suggestion, it might be useful to have the time it takes for those two, because some take more than others.
Correct.
It took an hour and 30 minutes of the day for one of them. I was there for them to do their filing.
It's a great service, Mr. Chairman.
Anybody have anything for Ms. Ann?
Oh, just one comment as far as looking at funding that. We're gonna have to look when we get into our budget
Right,
to
into
see.
the
'Cause we have no numbers.
I understand.
To base anything on right now, but we did have people submit preliminary budgets. But we'll have to look at that when we get into our budget and see where we're at.
I would appreciate your
That would be my comment
consideration.
on that issue.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Miss Ann. How about the lady was supposed to be with you, Miss Kathleen Oman?
Ann told me that she's not here today, and she'll let me know when she can get back on the agenda. She had
Okay.
an appointment she had to go to.
Okay.
And in addition to that, Commissioner, I failed to add Mr. Jason Puckett, your airport manager, to the, so now would be an appropriate time if you don't mind. He has said a few minutes is all he needs.
Yes, sir, I got him.
Before we go to Mr.
Mr.
Blair.
Jason, airport.
Good morning, thank you. I just want to give us a quick update. As we know, the airfield pavement project has been completed, and AFCON is coordinating the final pay application and closeout documents with Polar Ronas Construction for the county review. The airfield lighting system upgrade, the bids are due June 30th, and there will be a review process. We'll provide a recommendation of award to the county. Good news is we've had 12 companies actually ask for bid documents, so it looks like there's a lot of interest in this project, so that's good. Thirdly, we've been working on the commercial access road, and historically that has been paired with another project, which is drainage improvements at the airport, and they've been kind of working together. What we'd like to do is break those in apart, and so we can go ahead and start the drainage part at the airport without waiting on the commercial access road. The reason for that is we run into some delays with Army Corps of Engineers and doing some wetland delineation and that kind of thing. So we don't want to hold up the entire project waiting on that piece. So what we're probably going to try to do is try to figure out a way to break those two projects up so that we can at least get started on the drainage issues there at the airport. Fourthly, the economic development study, the FDOT grant is anticipated to be issued around July 1st. I think Mr. Allen has some more.
I was going to go back.
Yeah, if you go back, yeah, sure.
Sort of a re-education. The airport drainage study has been, the DOT is going to give us a lot of latitude on that because initially it was going to be part of a development industrial park over here. And when we realized that there was an old garbage dump here that was going to cause problems for everybody involved, including DOT, to make sure there wasn't any environmental issue, we moved the industrial site to well, it was going to be at the end of the runway. Now it's in here. And so the DOT has been giving us the latitude and the time to time extensions to get this straight. So that's why this was going to be all one big project, a drainage project as well as an industrial project. Now we're doing a road, and so the drainage and the industrial project are now separated. But I just want to remind you, it was going to be over here altogether, and now we've moved the road and the industrial park over here, so the drainage can go on its own path.
And we're trying to do that for time,
Right.
to go ahead and get the drainage started without waiting on all the delineations for the commercial access road.
And then the lighting, well, the bids are due June 30th. We'll
Yes,
open
sir.
the bids here
Yep.
July 5th, so you all.
Can I ask a question,
Yes, ma'am.
Mr. Chairman? Alan, so the 100 acres that we've got on the east side, I think that's the east, is
Right,
that the east
right,
side?
right over here. Right.
Yeah,
Right.
okay, the 100 acres for industrial property, we're moving that to the front side of it, or?
Well, there's still land south of what was going to be the county's industrial park that's still available for industrial land. That was land that if you remember years and years ago, Carr Creek was going to release some of that land. Some of that land is still available. Now, I will say, some of that land we were letting Duke Energy use as a staging yard.
Okay.
They're no longer there. They were using it as a laydown yard when they were putting the new transmission line in. So some of that industrial land is still here. But the county's industrial park, which is going to be up here, that area had an old garbage dump in it. So we moved the county site down over here.
Well, I'm gonna tell you, I like the idea of it being in front of the airport better, because you're gonna be more access, better access.
The sewer and all's right there too.
Yeah.
You know,
And
it's right
especially
down the road,
98
so-
being there too.
Got
You
it.
can-
So access and all that'd be a lot
That's good.
more convenient, a lot less cost.
Yeah.
Right, the idea is it comes off the airport road that goes in the airport now, loops around behind the T-hangars, and ties into the road that goes to the work camp. So
That's
you won't
good.
interfere with the industrial, with the residential unit here with any airport traffic. So that's what we're.
Route them
I
around.
like that idea. I like it.
Okay. Yes.
Go ahead.
No, I said you was going to talk about the economic development study
Yeah,
later.
okay.
Okay. And last thing, the last thing we talked about last time I was here was runway 1836 is kind of our little bit of deficiency runway, and so we're doing everything we can.
It's right here.
We're doing everything we can to kind of keep that open. One of the things was, over the last couple of years, the FAA has actually put an instrument approach procedure on that runway without us asking for it. And so what happens is, because it's an instrument approach runway, the FDOT comes back and inspects us to that standard. Well, we didn't ask for it to begin with, so what we're doing is we're asking the FAA to take that approach off of there. We don't need it anyway. And so that would soften up the FDOT requirements for maintaining that runway some. So that's kind of the first step of trying to keep that thing open.
Right, so in case of board, the airport has 3 runways. The FDOT and the FAA only fund 2 of them.
Yes.
The primary runway, the secondary runway, the tertiary runway, because it has such low traffic for our airport and in the future still low traffic, they do no longer fund that. So we're going to keep this open as long as possible. But what he's saying is now there are some obstructions. So we are going to, somehow this was rated the same as the other 2 runways. We said, well, we didn't ask for that. And FDOT said, oh, all right, you did. Change that. Also, we may have to move the markings because there are trees
Yes.
in the way. So this runway may be shortened by the landing ability, we're not going to dig the runway up, but what they do is, I forget the term.
It's called a displaced threshold.
Displaced threshold.
Yep.
So instead of being able to land at the end here, you may have to land shorter, but it's our 3rd runway, it's not heavily used. We put out a note to the pilots know all that sort of stuff. So we will do what we can to allow this runway to have some function. But over time, as DOT, if they continue to be, withholding approval for the overall airport because of that runway, over time, we will have to deal with whether that stays open or not. We're never going to dig it up. It's just a matter of putting a big X on it at some point in the future saying, you're not supposed to land on that runway.
We're just doing everything we can to keep it open for right now without spending a ton of money on it.
Question, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
sir.
Oh, Adam, did y'all ever hear anything from, y'all put in the application
No,
about?
we did not, but I'm going to lead to something where maybe we're going to get a little more, we never heard. So I don't know if it was, that selection process is statewide. I never heard that anybody got awarded. So I don't know if it's still being reviewed or not. This was a project for a company to come in and build, what they call them, tugs, where they move airplanes around the ground. This is going to be an industrial component place. They're going to build these tugs here. I don't know if that ever got awarded anywhere in the state of Florida, so we're still waiting to hear. But on that line, what Jason asked me to talk about, DOT has now funded, and I need board action to approve $120,000 economic development study for our airport. DOT's funding it all, and then we will get AFCON as airport engineers to go ahead and get involved and get that analysis started. So if you all are ready to act on that, DOT has sent us the JPA.
I thought we'd already got started on that.
Well,
Or
the
is that a
JPA
different study?
is effective July 1, and I can't remember if you've already pre-voted on that or not, but I now have the JPAs, and the money will start flowing July 1. So.
So moved.
Second.
Have a motion second on the floor. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries.
I'll get the chairman to sign those.
Yes, sir.
Alan, Mr. Chairman, if I might, I think there's gonna be some funds available for economic development. So we get the study done, if there's some things that we can do, then we can apply to that economic development pot of
Yes,
money.
that's correct.
BP monies I'm talking about.
Right.
To try to help facilitate bringing more jobs here, as long as they're environmental and safe and all this. But, these are different pots of money. One to do a study, but there's another pot of money that could help assist us in attracting some
Yes, the
businesses
Triumph funds.
and getting some jobs.
That's correct. You may have seen the headlines that the legislature, or the Speaker of the House, I guess, agreed that he would put the first $300 million of state BP money into the Triumph Fund. So assuming that the legislature acts on that this upcoming session in 2017, then the Triumph sometime in the summer of 2017 would finally have money for which to consider projects. So yes, you're right.
And DEO is supposed to be at this conference we're going to, and there's some 10-minute sessions.
Yes.
Is the county registered for that?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna get ready with them when I go down there, have to sit down with them.
Yeah, I'd like,
One-on-one, sit down for like 10 minutes.
yeah, it's not much, but I'd like to have a sit down and the rest of commissioners.
Okay, I'll make a point for everybody.
I think you have to RSVP, so Mike, if you'd do that for us, so that we can see where they're going. I got some ideas of things that, such as this, that we may want to apply for as a county. It's only a 10-minute session, but we can go in there and talk to them and build that start trying to build that relationship to access some of these dollars.
Question, Mr. Chairman?
Yes, sir.
I got a couple of questions. Does the traffic at the airport pick up in the summer with tourists? I was just curious.
It's very cyclical in nature, absolutely. Historically, summertimes actually are sometimes not as busy. Toward the end of summer, it really starts picking up, and then the winter, it falls off. But we have seen an increase here lately, but not as much as we really wanted, to be honest with you.
The peak traffic is probably the fall.
Yes, sir. Toward the end of summer and start of fall.
Related to fishing?
Trout fishing. Trout and redfish and the flounder.
Yeah.
My other comment on the economic study, I know that Gulf County is trying to get some money to expand their trunk line for the railroad,
Right.
which goes very near
Right.
our airport. And I know that these funds are looked on more kindly with regional efforts.
Right.
And so maybe that's something you could put in the hopper for us. too.
That'd be great.
Well, I'll say, in fact, when you meet with DEO down there, you'll learn this. Gulf County, I mentioned several months ago, Gulf County, with Chris Holloway, has put in a request for regional transportation study, and they are now at the final stages of applying for $70,000 of DEO money. And so that includes Gulf, Franklin, and Liberty County, where Chris Holloway would be the person doing the study, but they would study these three counties to see what economic connections we can make. And DEO is funding that to the tune of $70,000.
That's great.
Good.
Very positive.
Absolutely. Any questions for me?
Any more questions? Thank you.
Thank you for your time.